Yo, 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 what's up? It's your boy Brooklyn Adezbaby back with another episode of The Perspective. I got a good show for you guys today. We live again. You know what I'm saying? Today we're gonna be talking about Angel Reese interview. She did an interview for Shea Moisture. I thought it was dope. So we're gonna get into that. It's gonna be two parts, so stick around. I'm gonna play one part in the beginning of the episode, and I'm gonna play one part at the end. We also gonna get into Malaysia Fuwalie. Malaysia Fuwalie is in the transfer portal. That's kind of what I really wanted her to do because I think she has a lot more to show. So we're gonna talk about that. If she decided to stay in South Carolina, I would have supported her because listen, you can't go wrong playing in the Dawn Staley system, right? So either way, I was gonna support her in that. But I'm happy she transferred. We're gonna talk about that a little bit. Or she's in the portal. And then we're gonna get into the draft. We're not gonna really get into no mock draft type of stuff. Maybe we will, but today we're really gonna talk about each team and what they really need. Like what team needs, right? So we're gonna talk about that. I might have some. We're gonna see. We might have some guests for you guys today. We might not. You know what I mean? We might have special guests. We might not. So we're gonna see. But I got a special guest right now on the panel. Everybody give it up for Geneva in general. Geneva, what's going on? How you feeling today?
Brooklyn, how are you? I'm great.
Nice. That's good to hear. So Geneva, I'm about to we're gonna start this off. We're gonna start this off with a video. So let me see how this sounds. With music.
Okay, friends, I'm so thrilled to introduce to the conversation someone that I believe is truly a game changer. Someone that steps into the room, all eyes are on her, but guess what? Most importantly, when it matters most, she delivers. A rookie, but really the vet. A cover girl, you've seen her on Vogue. A baller, a dog, an icon living, someone that inspires us all.
Oh, before I forget, I'm sorry, guys. Listen, man, hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel. It's your first time here. I talk women's basketball. I appreciate all new subscribers. So if you watching this broadcast, I am Brooklyn Adezbaby. This is The Perspective with Brooklyn Adezbaby. I talk women's basketball. So run them likes up, subscribe to the channel, and let's get it.
The one and only Angel Reese. Hey, sis. Ladies and gentlemen, give her some love. How you doing?
Good. I'm so happy to be here. Oh my gosh, y'all look good.
Yes. How are you doing? How's life?
Life is lifing.
Life is lifing?
Life is always lifing, but I'm blessed. Just being able to wake up every morning and just being able to live a life.
Absolutely. What's been really fun is seeing how no matter where you go, you raise the game. How was Unrivaled? How was that experience?
Oh my gosh. It was amazing. I mean, I feel like that was what I needed going into year two, like being able to be around such great vets, not just my teammates, but everybody there. Like I was learning so much and just like watching like from like eating habits to like recovery to rest to like coming in and doing extra work. And like I was staying every single day and just watching like my teammates just do things and picking up habits from them. And that was really something that I needed going into year two.
One of my I wouldn't even say mentors because she's like a big sis to me. She was just here 2 days ago. We had dinner. Lisa Leslie.
Love. Shout out to Lisa.
Set the bar.
Yes.
Someone who held the door open. Everyone knows her as an Olympian, a champion. And the people in the back are asking if you could hold your mic up a little bit higher.
Yes. Sorry.
They want to hear every word you say. But Lisa, I mean, like I said, Hall of Famer, Olympian, champion, icon, businesswoman, entrepreneur, broadcaster. She's someone that once I became a pro and came into the league, I was like, teach me your ways.
Yeah.
And I saw the videos of you and her working together. What did you soak from her that will help you moving forward?
Yeah, it was every day. I mean, obviously behind the video footage, like it wasn't for that. Like she really sat and worked with me. And actually, funny story, like she called me before I was entering the draft, like probably a year ago and was like, no matter what nobody say, I think you're ready for the WNBA. And she told me, and I'm like, all right, bet. Like, the vet told me, like, OG told me, I'm going. Like, forget everybody else. But nah, she's been amazing. Like, she walks so I can run. She does so many great things on and off the court, from her being glammed up on the court. And she used to tell me her stories when she was in her WNBA days.
She was outside in a
She
cute
was
way.
outside too before games, and she was telling me all her stories. We ain't gonna get into that. But yeah, like, she was so inspiration to me. Like, just being able to work with her and see things, and I think it's hard to take constructive criticism when you feel like, well, a lot of people think it's hard to take constructive criticism, and like, people were trying to say, like, she's trying to damage Angel's game, or she's trying to tell her what to do. Like, I want people to sit there and be real with me. Like, sit there and be real with me and tell me what I need to work on. So when I get to where I want to get to, I'm like, oh, I bet Lisa said it. Like, Lisa told me and she helped me. So kudos to her, and I really appreciate her.
And I think that's the best part of being someone that wants to grow, that wants to be great. Yeah. You're a rookie, but an all-star, someone that competes at the highest levels. And you mentioned that text she sent you before draft. Yeah. That's sort of when I first met her too. So it's kind of nice when you get chosen by Lisa. You know, like, it's awesome we get chosen.
Yes.
But you've had a wild, I wouldn't even say 1 year, the last 2 years, 3 years. Can you talk about the journey in life and how you've grown yourself?
Yeah, yesterday was 2 years since we won a national championship, and seeing my life literally change in overnight, and just being able to see like the ups and downs of just being able to be in the spotlight and just having to change my whole entire life, my family's life, my friends, being able to be there for them and be supportive of them in financial ways that I never thought I would be able to. And just being able to take advantage of every opportunity. I think that's the most important thing. Like, like, the basketball does stop. And I think people don't like realize that. Like, I like to live a nice lifestyle. I like nice things.
Soft life.
A soft girl, nice things. I like to drive nice car. Like, I want to live a life that I love, and being able to come places and being able to network, being able to stay in touch with so many people. Like, who would have thought I met Brianna? Who would have thought I met Beyonce? Like, as a women's basketball player, and them knowing my name and knowing who I am, like, that's why I try to maximize every opportunity, because you never know.
That's so smart. Could you tell us about those encounters? What was it like pulling up? Because we all saw the photo. You're like, oh my gosh. And then she even said, oh, we're gonna be connected. We can work together.
I feel like closed mouths don't get fed. Like, you might as well. You never have an opportunity to sit in front of Rihanna. Like, Rihanna, I'm trying to work with you. Like, what's up? What's tea? Like, what's up? So I just try to, like I said, maximize every opportunity, because you never know. Like, it comes and it goes.
Sis, I'm from Texas, so like the Beyonce moment, where'd y'all catch a vibe? Where'd y'all catch a vibe?
She came to New Orleans, and I went to the concert, and I met her and Jay, and then I met the kids too. So it was great. I'm excited for it. You going on tour? You going to her new?
Yes.
I don't really know Cowboy Carter, but I'm gonna put my cowgirl hat on.
We gonna get the outfits on. We gonna get the boots. We're down. We're down. Yes. No, that's so cool. And you brought up the idea of 2 years ago it being the national championship game. How do you feel like I feel like people criticize the way that you celebrated, the way that you played, but that made you stronger because you realize, guess what? I have thicker skin, and that's not going to stop me from blocking my blessings, right? So where do you see the game is right now? We're right on the precipice of another champion.
Yes.
How do you see that?
I think it really helped me become a better person, a better woman, a better individual. I think, I'm not gonna lie, the first year was tough. I mean, everybody attacked me on social media every single day, every single night, sleepless nights, you don't know, people following you home, people know your address, they know your mama's address. My mama can't go out nowhere. Like, it was hard the first year, I'm not gonna lie. And now I think when I got a call from one of the top transfers, she's in the portal right now, and she was like, Angel, how do you deal with the hate? Like, I've never dealt with this before. And I think I've stood so strong now for other people, being able to try to sit in the spotlight and try to like protect. Y'all can beat me up. Y'all can beat me up all y'all want, but everybody can't take the things that I've taken. So I try to just be there and just try to be somebody that they look up to, and just trying to be as strong as I can. But it's not easy, and it took me some time, and mentally it was draining. It's tough, and still to this day, like, I want to go outside and just go to dinner and not have to go to a private restaurant and do all that. Like, I want to live a good life, but like, I realized my life changed forever when we won the national championship. And do I regret it? No. I'm glad everything happened the way it did. And I just know, like, the game went down to history. Like, people are tuning into women's basketball. I was watching the game yesterday. I'm like, the stands are full. Like, everybody is there. Like, people are fighting over tickets. So it's just a joy to watch.
It is. And you mentioned how you stand up for other people. I want you to know that we stand for you.
Thank you.
Sis, your fans, they're not to be played with.
Thank you.
We do, and we know you carry a lot of weight and you represent so much, but we love what you have brought to the game. And I feel like a lot of people on the outside are saying, oh, this person gets the credit, that person's for us. We got you. Yeah. Period.
Yeah, so that's the first part of the interview that we gonna play today. Just Angel Reese, talking a little bit about what she went through, what she been through since winning the national championship. You know what I'm saying? Chicago Cheetah, what's up? Chicago Cheetah says Angel Reese is gonna have a better second season. That's a Snapple Top fact. Definitely gonna have a better second season. Yeah, but that's just her talking about a little bit how her life changed after the national championship. Things that she goes through. And it's funny because Geneva, you see this. Unfortunately, you got people online who don't believe her when she says, oh, some days I might feel depressed, or some days, it's scary. You got people, sending threats to me. My mom can't enjoy herself. Just different things that she goes through. When she opens up, people make light of it and act like it's not a big deal. But these are like, she's a human being, right? These are real things that she go through. Yeah, she's gonna in the public, she's gonna show herself as strong as she can be, right? She's gonna show her strongest self. But it's not always easy to open up social media, as everybody knows, and then to receive hate, constant hate. So what did you take away from that interview, Geneva?
My first time actually watching the entire interview that she did with her regarding Shea Moisture. I only saw a little bit of clips, but the fact that she's actually, shows. By the way,
not to cut you off, this is just half of it, but I'm gonna play the rest later just to let you know. But yeah.
So just to show her, that humbleness and that humility, about how, again, like she is very much open to criticism, right. Regarding, just bettering her overall skills, and like, how she just humbled herself to just allow someone as legendary as Lisa Leslie to take her underneath her wing and like, just follow her instruction and guidance. Yes. So again, like, she talks a lot about, the social media hate. Again, I've always said, like, it's best for her to just get a handler at this point so she can just focus on what she needs to focus on instead of say, like, the naysayers, the haters, people in her comments, under her Instagram posts or what have you. But again, the fact that she, at the same time, she's a Taurus woman, she's very strong. She's a young Black woman. She has that strength, that resiliency that she needs. But again, like, her mental health, she needs to protect that because that's a huge asset for her on and off the court. So again, I just wish she would focus more on her mental health for this upcoming season.
Absolutely. Great point. Now we're going to transition a little bit. We're going to get into Malaysia Fuwalie. Everybody heard the news. Malaysia is entering the transfer portal. I know if people probably feel different ways about that. Some people probably wanted her to stay and stay in South Carolina. So she, you're gonna have multiple perspectives online about her leaving. Shout out to my brother Pro Fan Talk. Pro Fan Talk dropped the interesting interview. I actually agree with a lot of stuff he said, even though I slightly disagree with her leaving. I think her leaving was a good thing for her, but I do understand what Pro Fan Talk was talking about. He dropped a video talking about how these players don't want to be coached anymore, right? There's no, as soon as you don't like what's going on, you ready to hit the transfer portal, you ready to leave. That I understand, and he's absolutely right. In this particular case, I think the best thing for Fuwalie to do was to leave, because I think so. Let me say this first before I say what I think. If she would have stayed, and the time that she spent in South Carolina, and if she would have stayed in South Carolina, I think it would have also been good for her. I think this is one of those things where it's not a lose-lose, it's a win-win, right? Because if she would have stayed in South Carolina, you get coached by the great Don Stelly, you play in the system, it's going to prepare you for the next level. With that said, though, her staying in South Carolina, I don't think she would have reached her full potential. coming off the bench. I think she has a lot more to show. And because she played in South Carolina and coming off the bench, I don't think she had an opportunity to really show that. And I think that her betting on herself, going whoever she goes, I'm gonna say where I think she should go in a second, but her betting on herself wherever she goes, I think is gonna allow her to grow in her game, is gonna allow her to make mistakes, is gonna allow her to see like, okay, this is where I need to get better at, right? Opposed to having a short leash and every time she make a mistake, she getting sent to the bench. So now she got to think the game and try to think about what she did. Now she can correct whatever she's doing wrong in real time. Right. And now not only can she correct whatever she's doing wrong in real time, she's going to have the ability to have a mistake and then still have a good game. She's going to be able to correct it in the same game and still be able to have a good game. So I actually think for Fuwalie, this is a good decision for her. It's a risky decision, but it's a good decision. And I actually think she's better than a lot of people give her credit for, right? Because in my opinion, I know a lot of people got recency bias, so the last thing they saw was Hannah. So everybody probably feels like Hannah is the second best player in this draft class after Juju. And if that's how people feel, I'm not mad at it because I love Hannah. I think Hannah is nice, and I think it's an argument. I don't think it's a clear-cut answer there. I think it's an argument. So if people feel like Hannah is the second best player in this draft class, I'm not arguing that. But in my opinion, I feel like it's Malaysia Fuwalie. And I feel like a lot of people forgetting about how good Malaysia Fuwalie is because all they see is the mistakes and the benchings and mistakes and the benchings, right? They don't really get to see her really have a great game or have consistent great games. So I think this is gonna put back in people's minds how great she actually is. My argument every time I bring this up, Geneva, is a lot of people don't remember. I believe it was the 2023 season, if I'm not mistaken. A lot of people don't remember. It was like a preseason game just before the season started, and both Dawn Gamecocks and Neil Ivy's Fighting Irish, Notre Dame Fighting Irish played each other in Paris, and Dana and Fuwalie matched up, and it was just Fuwalie was having her way. Like she was doing whatever she wanted to do. You get what I'm saying? So I feel like she's going to get back to that. She's going to get back to people seeing how great she is. And the team, Geneva, and you can speak to this. I don't know if you have an opinion on it or not, but the team I think she should go to is Notre Dame. Everybody left Notre Dame. So, and I still believe in Hannah. I still believe in Notre Dame. I still believe in Neil Ivy. So it's time for them to retool, and I feel like it's only certain teams and only certain schools that make it to the Elite Eights, the Final Fours, and the championship game, right? Of course, you could have Cinderella teams that make it, but it's usually the same teams every year that's fighting for it. So the team right now, I feel like she could make the best impact on is Notre Dame, right? Hannah's 5'6". Hannah needs to prove that she could play point guard 100% of the time, right? She shared the ball with Olivia Miles last season, right? Now, she could have the ball 100% of the time, and Malaysia Fuwalie could prove, hey, listen, I could play big minutes and I could be a productive shooting guard, right? So now they could play next to each other. That could be one of the best backcourts in college, right? And then they just have to get a big. So the big that I mentioned, I don't know. I looked at her stats. I think she's a good scoring big, not so great rebounding, right? But somebody like a Bria Cunningham out of Arizona, right? She hasn't found the team yet. So I think Bria Cunningham, if she goes to Notre Dame as well, you got a scorer in the post, right? That's where your consistency at, right? You could rely on great post play. So you could have Bria Cunningham, 6'4", big in the paint. You could have a great backcourt, and now you just have to have a solid defender at the wing. They would have to find somebody like around 6 foot, sort of like what Soya Cintron did for them last year. Somebody who could defend at the wing, and then he would have to find somebody who could rebound. Because I don't think Bria Cunningham she's a solid scorer. She's a really good scorer, but she's not a greatest rebounder. So they would have to find somebody at that 4 to rebound. But I think listen, that's just me, speculating on a team that could come together and make some noise, But I think to wrap up my point, Geneva and Mikachu, I think that Notre Dame would be a good spot for Malaysia Fuwalie to land. Also, Duke, I think, would be another nice spot. I think Duke would be a good spot. Or who did I say earlier? I said Notre Dame. I said Duke. It was another team. It's escaping me. But what's your thoughts on that? On Malaysia entering the portal and what it means for the rest of her college career? Geneva and then Mikachu.
So I just did a video about Malaysia hitting the portal, and again, like, you gave me a lot to think about just now, as it pertains to her possibly going to Notre Dame. I do believe her and Hannah Hidalgo, they would make a good duo. But just like how, the journey is just as important, some would say, as the destination.
Yes.
But overall, right now, I want to talk about the destination. Oh. What is Malaysia Fuwalie's overall goal? You see what I'm saying? It's like, do you want to go pro? Do you want to make it into the WNBA? Because if she does, in my opinion, if she wants to leave Dawn Staley in her South Carolina program at the Gamecocks, it only makes sense for her to go to, say, the UConn Huskies under Gino Auriemma. He just won his 12th championship. You see what I'm saying? So yeah. Coach Neil Ivey, again, she's great coach. She has an amazing program, but overall, she does lack that experience. She doesn't, I'm not sure if like any people, let's see. I can't think of any women who have been coached by her or the Notre Dame Fighting Irish program under Neil Ivey. Of course, we got, the likes of Marina Mabry, Skylar Diggins-Smith, and, et cetera, who used to be, alumni of the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. But as it pertains to the coach, Neil Ivey, she's still very, fairly new, as opposed to Kim Mulkey, Dawn Staley, or Gino Auriemma. So for Malaysia Fuwalie, I believe she either needs to just stay at, South Carolina if she wants to go pro, or if she really wants to take it to the next level and go pro, go to the UConn Huskies.
That's interesting. It's funny. I did think about that, Geneva, but I didn't put a lot of thought into it because I thought about that more so on a petty. Like, I was like, yo, this would be real petty if she went to UConn, leaving South Carolina. But I didn't think about the basketball fit of it. I thought of the petty move. But listen, I wouldn't be if she did that. If she did that, put it to you like this: because they do need to replace Paige. So if they had a point guard spot for her, I wouldn't be mad at it. I'll think it's funny. It'd just be funny every time because you're gonna think of the history. But playing for Dawn or playing for Gino is gonna make you a pro. So I ain't mad at that at all.
Okay, and also when it comes to possibly replacing Paige, I think we got to be more honest. Like I spoke about it earlier on my own page. Malaysia Fuwalie, along with, all the Gamecocks, specifically in the last championship game this past Sunday, April 6th, a lot of them made mistakes. And it's like, it's not the first time they made those mistakes. Like Raven Johnson, she seems to be in her head a lot. She seems to lack some sort of confidence and leadership at times when it's really needed. It's like Malaysia Fuwalie, instead of saying, like, you know what, screwed on. I'm not saying, like, that's what she's, like, like her attitude or what she's saying. But the perception is like, you know what, forget this. I'm being underutilized. I'm not being appreciated. I'm frustrated. I'm tired of coming off the bench. I'm going to just jump ship and just, run to another program. When really it's like, again, you're a sophomore. You know that Dawn Staley, she is one of those people who are like, she's kind of old school. She prefers seniority. The juniors and seniors, you got to put some time and grade, so to speak. And it's like Malaysia Fuwalie could, just in a way I would say humble herself. And just work on what needs to be worked on and just stick with the program. Right. Like, to me, again, I believe that she's making a mistake to leave. Listen, unless she goes to the UConn.
No, I'm not mad at your opinion because this is what I said. For my selfish reasons, and not only for my selfish reasons, I believe in Malaysia Fuwalie. I believe this is going to work out for her. But I also said, that's why I said in the beginning, Geneva, this is a win. It was no real wrong answer here because if she decided to stay in South Carolina, that would have been a great decision, right? Staying under South Carolina, playing under Dawn Staley. The only problem is she would have never started. She was coming off the bench for the rest of her college career, unless she played as a senior, which maybe she would have got started as a senior. But with Tanaya Lotson going there, She's a sixth woman on that team now, and she would have just had to be comfortable in that role. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with being comfortable in that role. You understand what I'm saying? But I don't know if you see the chat. They talking to you, Geneva. They saying one new guy said, "What's up, Geneva?" And then Baz said, "Is Geneva?" Yeah, if you look to the right and you see all you gotta do is click it for it to populate. It is not gonna populate unless you click chat. But yeah, they shouting you out in the chat right now.
Hello, everybody. Thank you.
But yeah, that's a good point. Listen, I'm not mad at you. I do agree with you that it would have been a great decision if she stayed in South Carolina. That would have been a great decision. But I'm not mad at the decision for her to leave. To me, you just betting on yourself, and I'm never gonna be mad at a player for betting on themselves. You know what I'm saying?
Right. But again, I just want her to be, realistic. People were saying like her mom is upset.
Right.
She was talking about how it was unfair, but it's like, again, she was a sophomore, almost a junior. Maybe if she would have just waited a little bit longer, she would have, reaped the benefits of that seniority position that Dawn Staley, she seems to prioritize. You know what I'm saying? Like, but again, I really wish her well, but it's like, I feel like a lot of Gamecock fans, even if you're not a fan, we're not all the way honest about this team's performance this past season. I believe we lost a total of 3 games. First, it was who gave us our first loss? It was UCLA, I believe.
Yeah.
And then we lost to Texas A&M, the Longhorns, or the Texas Longhorns. And then we lost, I think, UConn Huskies 29-point deficit at our own court. And it's like, again, in my opinion, one, it's like the major reason why we lost those games is our lack of discipline.
Right.
Like straight up and down.
Yeah.
And Dawn Staley is all about discipline. And again, like it would always bother me when I would see so many of the core, I don't want to say the core 4, but many of the Gamecocks teammates, such as Tessa Johnson, Tahina Powpow. I understand these are young women who they deserve to have fun and have a break. But when you on TikTok, dancing, doing a little TikTok challenge right after getting obliterated, like what is we doing?
Yeah.
Like you should be upset. Like it didn't make any sense.
Right.
So. Yeah,
and
I believe we just lack discipline.
And I do agree with you about the lack discipline point because, again, not the harp of Malaysia Fuwalie. I do understand her making the decision, and like I said, I do feel like she needs a better opportunity to play through mistakes. But the mistake she made in that championship game is kind of what blew the lead. It's kind of like they had it. The game was close. It was within 10 points. I forgot how close it was. But she came in and had 2 crucial turnovers and they never recovered after that. So that's that discipline you talking about. Mikachu, what's going on? What's your thoughts on Malaysia Fuwalie entering in the portal?
I was shocked when I saw that she entered the portal because I thought she would have tried to figure out how to make it work.
Right.
I mean, obviously, you gotta sit down with the coach and be like, I can't do another season where you sitting my ass on the bench. You gotta let me work. Like, dead ass. I feel that if she would have let her work through some things in the beginning, that would have helped her not make bonehead mistakes like turning the ball over on a UConn team that's very disciplined and in tune with what their role is on the team.
Right.
Because she'll make a mistake. I mean, I saw the whole game and I saw the frustration on Dawn's face.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, but she was bound to make more mistakes because you have her on the bench more than you have her on the floor.
Yeah, you can't get in the rhythm that way.
Exactly. You throwing off her making that mistake and then figuring out how to, fix it. But at that point, it's a championship game. I could understand why she had to sit her ass down after them couple of bonehead turnovers. But I could see her going to LSU. I don't like people taking L's and then jumping ship right to the other team. But UConn does sound like she'll find some discipline because Gino Oyama is like Phil Jackson. He'll play that mental game with you. He'll get on your last nerve, but he'll
bring the best out of you. Yeah,
exactly. I don't know. I think I like her for the other SC, USC over there in California. A whole
that's
different
interesting.
atmosphere.
I didn't think about that. That's interesting too. Her and Juju.
Yeah,
that'd be interesting.
A whole different atmosphere. She not around family, because when you around family, you get a little bit too comfortable. I saw it in the interview where she was saying she gotta do what's best for her. That sound like she gotta figure some things out, and what better to do it when you're not in your comfort zone. Cause she from South Carolina, so you got a whole bunch of people in her ear. So maybe that change of scenery will help her. So California is different than that's West Coast than the East Coast. So those are the ideas I was thinking. But I do like Duke. I do like the coach over there in Duke.
So yeah, Duke is not to cut you off, and I want you to finish your thought, but Duke could be good because Duke is a defensive team, right? Duke is a defensive team, and they already have like long wings, and they already have Duke needs somebody who could take them over the top, and I think Malaysia Fuwalie is that type of talent. So even though my number one option for her, me personally, would be Notre Dame for the things I said earlier, I do feel like Duke is a good spot. Real quick, Geneva, you actually spoke in a private chat. You got to speak in the one that says comments for the whole chat to see you. But get finish your thought, Mikachu.
Yeah, because the coach over there, she's a former WNBA player. She won championships in the W as well, and she knows how to try to structure things. And try to, get her team to buy into the system. She's not no Gino, but she's like bubbling right now because it's been a minute before they've made it that far into, the playoffs in the NCAA. So they really bubbling. They just need, like you were saying, another player to like, I don't know, mix it up a bit, because you want a player that could go off the cuff versus staying disciplined, because sometimes being that disciplined against a good defensive team will make you more stagnant, you know what I mean? And Malaysia Fuwalie is a very good spark off the bench, but you want her to start. So that's why I would think Duke, probably USC, LSU, obviously those teams more defensive minded, but I'm gonna say UConn just because y'all said it, but that's another.
You said it. UConn. I thought you said USC.
Nah, UConn. My first pick is USC, obviously. It's usually no, but like to throw defense, because she needs better defense. She already got the play off the ball. She just needs to be, more sound on defense. Maybe she's not getting it because she's too comfortable being at home in South Carolina.
Good point. Mo 3, what you got on Fuwalie hitting the transfer portal?
Man, I knew it was coming. But what's up, everybody on the panel? How y'all doing?
Good, how y'all?
I'm chilling. Hey, I knew it was. I even before Lotson got there, I just got that vibe from the post game interview.
What you say? I gotta do what's best for me.
Yeah, it's not just that, but just her whole body language and the whole thing just it made me feel like, man, she's out of here. She's out of here. Then when Lotson went over there, I'm like, hold up, like she about to take your job. So I'm I'm thinking, man, she's, you know what I'm saying? Because if she stay, I think she's gonna be at best like a 6th man, still coming off the bench. So I think she's thinking, and if I was like a South Carolina fan, I would have a bone to pick with Dawn.
With
because
Dawn?
Dawn out here tripping. She gonna have to change her ways. No, seriously, like because of what just happened. Sarah Strong was supposed to go there. You know, she's like really good friends with her mom. They played on the same team together. They were like she went there. She was gonna go there, but
she didn't want to start.
Go.
They didn't guarantee her a starting spot.
Yes, she was like, oh man, my playing time. I'm not gonna get no playing time. When you went to Gino was starting that. Gino was like, man, if you a talent, I'm starting you. Or even if you're not the best talent, he's still gonna try you to see what's up. He's gonna give you a chance. If you don't succeed, then that's your fault. You didn't make the cut. Right. But at least he gonna give you a shot to see what you got. Dawn ain't with that. She's like, nope. I don't care how good you are. Nope. You gotta wait. You gotta wait your turn. And these youngins, they not on that. They like, what? Wait my turn. What do you think this is? This thing's not lying at Burger King.
That's a good point. Yeah. Listen, I'm gonna have some fun on the pen. Go ahead, Mo. You ain't finished? Go ahead.
Yeah, but because and that was kind of bad because the player you turned around, which I feel like they even robbed her of the MOP, because I feel like
now we live, Lisa. We live.
Her game was better. Her game was better than AZ. AZ had a good game, but when you look at it, her game was better. Her blocks matched her steals, her points matched her points, and the rebounds destroyed. She had 15 rebounds, bro. And then the game before that, AZ had a better game, but it wasn't like that far off. It was like they had you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I think they kind of robbed her. But anyways, that's besides the point. The point is the player that y'all should have had, y'all didn't have because you didn't want to start her. And then look what she did. She went to UConn and beat not only won a championship, but they beat you for the championship. And not only did they beat you, you're right, they torched them. And not only did they do that, they did that twice. Twice they beat them by 20-something points twice. That's craziness.
Yeah, that's a great point. Listen, I'm gonna have some fun on the panel real quick because if I'm not mistaken, it sounds like Geneva is a South Carolina Gamecocks fan. Is that the case, Geneva? That's your team?
I wouldn't say that's my ultimate team. I'm a fan of many teams, but I have a huge adoration and healthy respect and admiration for Dawn Staley. So yeah.
Got you. Okay. Don't know if it. So then it's up to you guys if you want to do it or not. I thought that was your team. I was gonna let you defend your team because Mo3 is actually a UConn fan. So I know you felt comfortable letting a UConn fan talk about your team like that. But
I wasn't really talking about the team. I was talking about Dawn. Dawn is the culprit there. You know what I'm saying?
But I mean, she means well. She really just wants to bring out the best in her players. Again, like she's very disciplinary mindset. And I mean, some people say she could possibly be pushing the girls a bit too hard, but I don't know, the way that we got defeated in the finals. What was that, like a 31-point deficit loss? She hasn't been pushing them enough. That's crazy. It's the finals. For the men's side, it was the Florida Gators versus Houston. It was like a 2-point deficit. Like, we should have had a much closer game. Anytime we have to, tussle with UConn Huskies, like, why are we losing 20-plus points? Something is not, right with this program when it comes to them.
Yeah, change. They definitely got to make a change, especially with now that you got Taniyah Lotson. You can't bring Taniyah Lotson there and then make her a 13-point scorer. You get what I'm saying? So she's going to have to switch her play style up and figure out how to get her guards more creative opportunities to score the ball, especially now that she don't have a dominant post. I do like Joyce Edwards. Joyce Edwards, to me, even though she lost out on Sarah Strong, Joyce Edwards, to me, is one of the best. She if I said right now, the way Sarah Strong is playing, in my opinion, obviously Juju is hurt, but I feel like Juju and Sarah Strong is the best two players in the country right now from what I could see. And I feel like Joyce Edwards she got everything that Sarah Strong has. Like they both have similar games. They both point forward-ish, stretch forwards type of players. Sarah Strong's shot might be a little bit better than Joyce's right now, but I like with Joyce how she could bring the ball up court and make a play. She could either make a play for her teammates or make a play at the basket. So, she's gonna have to figure out a different offense that doesn't revolve around a dominant big, because she don't have that right now. So I agree with both of you guys' point. My next segment, though, we're gonna talk a little bit about the WNBA draft. And I just kind of want to talk about team needs. We could have fun with this, right? Whatever you guys want to do is cool. We could predict what players is gonna go in, all of that. We can do that, but the main goal is really just discussing the actual team and talking about what do they actually need, right? So that people can make more educated guesses when you start talking about what players should go where. You get what I'm saying? Obviously, the first 2 picks are no-brainers. Obviously, the first pick is going to be Paige. The second pick, more than likely, is probably going to be Malanga. We'll see what happens there. But after that, I think it's probably fit. I think players should probably go with a best fit. So we're just going to we're going to run through these teams real quick and just talk about what's the team needs, so then we could really start talking about the players in the draft and saying, since this team needs this player probably fit best here. You get what I'm saying? So the first team we're going to talk about, we're going to go in order the draft. So the first team we're going to talk about is the Dallas Wings. Obviously, the first pick is a no-brainer, so we don't even have to spend much time there. I think one of the things they do need is playmaking anyway. We already know Paige is going to provide that. One of the other things I feel like they need, though, is probably a backup center, right? Outside of Tierra McCohen, you have Maisha Hines. That's what I'm about to say. You have Nalissa Smith, who's 6'4". You have Maisha Hines Allen, and then you have Maddie Seagrass. So I don't know if you like them playing a 5 or not. They more 4s than me. You guys correct me if I'm wrong. But I think playmaking and backup 5 is probably what they need the most. Maybe shooting. What you guys think? What you guys think is a team need for the Dallas Wings?
It's kind of difficult to say. I would say, again, they're going to acquire Paige Beckers. A lot of people are, presuming that a huge issue that could possibly appear for Dallas Wings is Arike Ngumbawale possibly being, a little stingy with the ball and, allowing it to touch the hands of, say, Paige Beckers, another point guard, or, Dejanay Carrington. She's now, been drafted to the team along with Ty Harris. Ty Harris, a lot of people sleep on her. She was supposed to go to the Phoenix Mercury, but Ty Harris is pretty good with the 3. Okay, she's good with the 3-pointer. And again,
two-way player.
Because of, I would say, Caitlin Clark, specifically joining the WNBA last season, making 3-pointers per game and being consistent is extremely paramount now in the WNBA. And I say between Ty Harris, Arike Ngumbawale, and Paige Beckers, the Dallas Wings may be in good hands. Now, Dejanay Carrington, she got to work on that offensive game a little bit more, but her defensive mechanisms is pretty good.
Right.
Honestly, Nalissa Smith, I'm still, again, like she could be a center, power forward. She still kind of comes across as like the odd one out, like how she was in Indiana Fever. I know it sucks, but just to be honest.
Right. What's your thoughts on that, Mikachu?
Yeah, I think Dallas needs a backup center and also a backup shooter because Arike Ngumbawale, she gets like very sporadic at times. Like when games she know the team is supposed to win, she does this thing where she plays hero ball. 9 times out of 10, if you hit the buzzer beater, it might be good, but not in this league right now. The way the talent is elevating, you gotta be a little bit more sound in your offense selection.
Right.
But just Just another shooter and probably a backup center, and they'll be good to, make a little bit of wave in the playoffs. Because I think they got a new coach too, because they didn't trust the last.
They got the coach from USC, one of the assistant coaches.
Yeah. So, they got to work on a few things, but I think if they get a solid piece like that, then they'll be sound in the playoffs. Probably, make it somewhere towards the middle where I thought they should have been last year, but things happen the way they happen.
Facts. That's a great point. Wow, what you got on this Mo 3?
I think they need, the same thing Mikachu just said. They need a backup center and a solid 2 guard, because like when Enrique gets to tripping, who you need somebody to replace her with. Because she be making me mad sometimes. I'll be like, yo, what is this girl doing, man? But the thing is, last year they didn't really have a point guard like that to like calm them down and be like, no, that's not what we're doing. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was just like a whatever. It's the free reign. They could do whatever. But with Paige, I don't think she's gonna be able to do that. So she's not gonna. It's not gonna be too. Obviously, she's a Rike, so she is still gonna go off the rails, but she's gonna do it far less because of Paige.
Don't forget about. To your point, don't forget about Ty Harris as well. Both of them, Paige and Ty Harris.
Thanks for reminding me. I forgot about her for real. So between the both of them, I think they could, like, you know what I'm saying, like, calm her down and be like, wait, hold up, like, nah, let's think about that. Like, hold up, you shooting 1 for like 19. Let's cut it out. Let's cut it out. Let's see, you know what I'm saying? Let's see what's up. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Cause like, Paige is very talkative. Like, every time a play go down, there's a dead ball or something, she's calling the huddle. She's like, hey man, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this. Hey, what you trying to do? That ain't working. Or this what you do. You see what you're doing? It's working. We're gonna keep doing that till it stop working. You know what I'm saying? And you could tell her leadership by the if you never watched it, at least in the championship game, she could have, because a lot of people don't know this, but she just needed 33 points going into that game. She needed 33 points to beat Caitlin Clark's tournament record, right? When I hear some people saying, if she would have beat it, it wouldn't have counted because it's 5 more games, and I'm like, what are you talking about? It would have been less games because she missed a whole year to injury. This is she only played in the tournament 3 years. If you count this year, it's 3 years. Caitlin Clark played 4, so it would have been less games. But anyway, that's besides the point. I just went on a tangent because that dude he keep making slanderous. He keep making slanderous videos, man. I saw that before I came on here. But yeah, she could have went for it. She could have took all the shots, or there's a lot of times she could have had a shot and she passed it up to try to get other teammates involved. You know what I'm saying? Yes. Or see how many times she fed Sarah and Ozzy, and I mean Hazy. She saw they got it going on, so she like, you know what, I'm gonna keep feeding the beast. Right. She's that type of player. So she has like a really good head for the game. You know what I'm saying? Her basketball IQ is high, so I think that's really gonna help them. But what they definitely need is a backup center, because the only other person I would trust at the center is Alyssa, but I don't know. She's more. She's not like.
She don't got that like dog.
Yeah, she doesn't have enough dog in her for that. Like, she don't want to be down there banging like that. She's more of like a finesse big, you know.
Yeah, I agree with everything all you guys said. To your point, Mo 3, damn, you had said something that I wanted to touch on, but the Enrique going off thing with the 1 for 19. To your point, another thing that makes Paige so great is her unselfishness, right? So Paige is the type of player that will allow Rike to settle into a comfort zone, because Paige will come down and just find her, right? It feels good when you play with certain players that look for you, especially when you don't expect it. Paige can get her shot anytime, right? She got all of the moves. She's a big guard. She's 6 feet. Paige can come down, like you just said, talking about the championship game. Paige can come down and drop 30 if she wants, but she looks for her teammates, and I think that's also going to make Rike better, playing with somebody who wants to make her better. So that's another thing to look out for. Hot boy Coleon says, "What's up, Geneva? I'm just now watching your latest video." So the next scene we got Seattle Storm, Seattle Storm, and they obviously a veteran team that got a second pick, so that's good for them. They don't necessarily need the pick, right? So as far as like getting better, they pretty good at every position. So for me on my notes, all I have here is youth, right? They need to get younger. They 2 best players are pretty old, right? Old in the tooth, so they need to get younger. And shooting, they can add perimeter shooting. That's what I have for my notes for Seattle Storm. Obviously, we think Malanga's going here regardless. And when you at the top of the draft and you got the top talent, you kind of draft a best player available. And then once you get to where everybody's kind of even, then you start going for fit. So I think Paige and Malanga's are no-brainers. They're going 1 and 2. But my notes for Seattle is still youth and shooting. Somebody else start us off. Mikachu, you start us off on this one.
Yeah, I really think they just need like better defense, to be honest, because all the other pieces is pretty solid in itself. But yeah, Seattle, I don't think they need much except for somebody that's a 2-way player that can play both ends of the court. And probably a little bit of bully ball. I always am a fan of a person that could, turn the game up, intensity wise by making that hard foul, pushing the line about, getting close to 2 technicals. But that's just me.
That's just me. I like it. I like that 90s basketball when they was putting each other in headlocks.
One person said they got hit in the ribs so many times they was pissing blood. I'm like, wow. That's the style I like.
That's that Charles Oakley basketball.
The pissing blood part, I didn't need to know that. But
right.
But that's it. Just a little bit tougher defensively, and I don't know, maybe another score, but not too much. I just think they need somebody solid on D with a 2-way capability.
Facts. That's a good point. Geneva Mo 3.
Huh? No, I'll go last.
Okay. Yeah, Geneva.
Okay, with the the Seattle Storm team, of course, they had a lot of controversy. The bullying allegations. They kind of, in a way, traded away Alicia Clark from the Las Vegas Aces back to Seattle Storm in exchange for Jewel Lloyd. So again, Jewel Lloyd is the GOAT Mamba. We don't have her anymore. Now right. Alicia Clark, people are saying she's getting up there in age. I believe she'll be 38 by the end of this year. And I see her more doing more defensively than offensively. I believe Jordan Horston, she just got injured. I think
unfortunately.
She did something like where she won't be. We won't see her in a minute.
Right.
For playing in the Seattle Storm court. So we still got Alicia Clark, who gives more defensively than offensively. Ezzy, of course, we got Nneka. Who else? Oh, of course, Skylar Diggins-Smith. So we still have some good pieces, but it's like at the same time we've traded away or we've lost good pieces. So again, I believe Seattle Storm, they ended the regular 2024 WNBA season with being ranked top 5 in the league. Yeah. I don't foresee that being the case in this upcoming season. Because again, like it's been like a lot of power chess moves being played. Specifically, like Indiana Fever, they literally got like 3-headed monsters on their team. Seattle Storm was not aggressive enough in acquiring like the people we needed. They got rid of some dead weight. And go on, Mercedes Russell, she's now I believe with LA Spark. Yeah. So dead weight. They kind of like just broke even pretty much in a way.
Facts. Good point. What you got, Mo3?
Yeah, I think Seattle is in like a really tight predicament because even if they go for best available talent, which historically the WNBA doesn't really do that. They go for fit first. But let's just say they change up and they go for, even if they go for that, Malanga doesn't really, that's not really like a dire need. What she provides is like a really nice to have, but it's not like really like as a like pushing the team forward. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, and then if they go for fit, it's like who is the fit that they could get is good enough fit to make them shake? Like
to me, if they go for fit, to your point, I think Sonia Citron is the best fit. But I don't think she going number 2. But
yeah, Sonia. But even if they, that's what I'm saying. If they go for fit, is it gonna be? It's not gonna be the fit that they get. Is like the best thing they could get is Sonia Citron, and Citron is not a Drew Lloyd. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't know. I don't know what they could do.
Listen, man, like I said, those are all good points. They don't really need to be in this position, right? Because they have a team that shouldn't be a lottery team. We all know how they got here. But you here now, so now they just have to make a decision. Do they, like to most 3-point, do they go with best fit, which would be the best fit, be a wing shooter defender, which is Sonia Citron? Or do you go with best player available? I think they should go with best player available, obviously, because you want to build for the future. Who knows how long Nneka Ogwumike is going to play? Who knows how long Skylar Diggins is going to play? You're going to need somebody to build around. Dominique Malanga, 6'6", got all the tools offensively, 6'6", so she's probably going to be solid defensively. It's not the greatest fit because you got Ezzy Megmagor there, right? You got Ezzy Megmagor as your center, so it's like they will have to figure that out. They probably will be bringing Dominique off the bench for her first year, right? She'll be backing up Ezzy and Nneka, but she'll be somebody good to build around for the future. So we'll see with that. Next team on the list. This is the interesting one, right? They got 3 picks in this draft. And they do need to pick a direct. This is a team that doesn't really have a direction. Like we don't really know. So a few needs I wrote down for the Mystics. I said they need wings because they got a lot of guards and they got a lot of bigs. They don't really have any solid wings. I said they need a backup center, backup or starting center. It really depends on how you feel about Stephanie Dawson. And then I said they need a point guard. I like Brittany Sykes, but I don't like at the 1. I like her better at the 2. So I don't really like the options at 1. At point guard is what I'm saying. So I think they need a point guard. I think they need a wing and a center. So obviously, just to throw some names out there, obviously y'all could pick whoever y'all want, y'all think is best fits. But just to throw some names out there, maybe a Cheyenne Sellers at point guard. Maybe a Sonia Citron at wing, and then maybe somebody like maybe Kiki, maybe Kiki. So let's start off with Mo3 on this one. Mo3, what's your thoughts on what the Mystics need?
Yeah, I got the same. Well, we basically almost 99%.
We agree on this.
But yeah, I think I would rather Sykes at the 2 and get a season. And I'm surprised you said Cheyenne Sellers though. You been hating on Cheyenne Sellers, bro.
No, I just don't like her for the sky. She could go anywhere else.
But yeah, I would go for her, and it depends on who Seattle picks though. If they pick Citron, then we getting Malonga. If they pick Malonga, then we getting Citron. Right. I'm saying we like I'm with them. I ain't with them.
listen, y'all listen, because Geneva did it too. If y'all want to be GMs, that's fine. Y'all could be GMs of the team, so y'all gotta say we.
You know what I'm saying? And then so if, I'm gonna give two scenarios. They pick Malonga, we get Cheyenne Sellers, we get Citron at 3, Sellers at 4, and then we got the 6th pick. 6th pick,
yeah, 6th pick.
So I'm pretty sure that the Valkyries might scoop up Kiki. They might scoop up Kiki because of name recognition.
Or Anissa, you never know.
Yeah, but I just feel like Kiki's just a bigger draw than Anissa. Because to be real, basketball fans, we know about Anissa, but the average person, they didn't know about her until this year. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? True. But people been knew about Kiki from before this year, so I feel like she's like a bigger draw. You know what I'm saying? And that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to build their fan base. So I feel like they would pick her. I mean, I could be wrong, but you know what I'm saying? If I was them, that's what I would do. Trying to build a fan base. I get the bigger name.
I agree with you. I think so I agree with everything you're saying. The only thing that I think might have changed is, and I'm somebody that I root for Kiki. Let's be clear. I root for her. I wasn't part of the bandwagon that was like down on her because she played a few bad games. With that said though, she had a pretty bad tournament. She had one game when she showed out. Outside of that, she disappeared. She didn't play well this tournament. Where Anissa, if you watch her play, the heart she showed by getting her nose broke, coming back in the game, I think that might have made an impression on people. I haven't heard that nowhere. I'm just saying that's how I feel, because people like that when you show heart, and Anissa showed a lot of heart in this tournament. Whereas Kiki kind of like, and you would have thought Ryan Marshall was the best big. Like that's the way they was playing. Now we all know what's what, and I think Kiki's gonna have an amazing pro career. So I don't think that has nothing to do with what's gonna happen in the future. But I'm just talking about specifically how the tournament played out. It may have helped Anissa, because I think before the tournament you was thinking Kiki was gonna go first. Not to say she still won't. She still might go first, but I think the tournament just might have helped Anissa because she played like a dog throughout the whole tournament. So we'll see what happens with that. But I agree with everything you said, Mo3.
Yeah, overall, I do agree with that. The only thing that's throwing a monkey wrench in it is the team that got the pick. If it was any other team, I would go with that. Yeah. But it's because of the Valkyrie, and the Valkyrie already showed that they don't really care that much about the skills of the player. They're looking to build their fan base with name recognition. Look who they picked up in the expansion draft. Yeah. First quarter, they like, we getting her. Why? Because her jersey sells the most jerseys. She ain't the best player in the league, not by a long shot, but her jersey is one of the top selling jerseys. So we need her.
Kate Martin.
So I feel like the first couple of years, I feel like they're just gonna try to build their fan base. You know what I'm saying? And they worried about making money. You know what I'm saying? That's the Warriors owner. That's
Yeah, we know the Warriors owners are.
Yeah, but so they're about making money. So they're about packing the stadiums, selling merchandise, and that stuff. You know what I'm saying? What's going on in their building? They ain't really worried about games on TV and none of that extra stuff. That's not really how they make their money. They make their money by people coming to games, buying jerseys, buying food, and all this stuff in they.
To your point too, Mo3, Kiki is a West Coast girl. Anissa is an East Coast girl, so that keeps Kiki on the West Coast playing for Golden State.
Yeah, but so that's the reason why I think like they're gonna snatch her. So if they do snatch her, then we're left with Anissa, and I wouldn't be mad at that.
Yeah. All right, so next team on the list. we got the Golden State Valkyrie, the team Mo3 was just talking about. And obviously this team is a new team. So they need everything, right?
Wait. Hold on. So we just gonna skip the ladies?
Oh, they didn't go. You talked for so long, bro. I thought you was the last one.
Yeah, cause you kept butting.
That's
in,
my
bruh.
bad. That's my bad. Thanks for reminding me. Thanks for reminding me. My bad, ladies. What you got on?
Trust me, it's fine. The Mystics to me is more like a irrelevant WNBA team in my eyes. But I'm a fan of Shakira Austin, Aaliyah Edwards. Yeah, that's about it I gotta say about the Mystics.
I hear you. What you got, Mikachu?
No comment. I ain't rocking with them.
Got you. Don't even want to talk about it. Heard you. Me and Mo3 held it down on that one. Let's go to the next team. The next team is the Valkyrie. Let's start off with Geneva in general on this one. Geneva, what you got for the Valkyrie?
Yes, so the Valkyries, again, it'll be the latest team. It'll be the 13th team of the WNBA. Yeah. And I have high hopes for them. They have acquired what's her name, Tiffany Hayes, Kate Martin.
Yep.
I believe it'll be a good season for them starting off. They just acquired the coach, Natalie Nakase. She used to be the assistant coach at the Vegas Aces for Becky Hammond. So I think it'll be a pretty good season for them. I think they might shock us.
Yeah, really quick too, because I forgot to say this. I always start off with what I think they need. So I think they need a franchise player, right? I don't know if they're gonna get that in this draft, but they need it. They need a leader. That's something they could pick up, and they just need experience, right? They're a young team, they're a new team, so I think they need a franchise player. I think they need a leader, and I think they need experience. Mikachu, what you got for this?
I don't really see nothing in this draft. I mean, I think they're just going to try to not be the last. I do think they do need a franchise player. Like, I was a little bit shocked about the pick that they acquired through that trade deadline stuff where they had to pick players off teams. But yeah, just like a franchise player and not be last on the season, because that would be definitely a flop.
Yeah. Well, no, not necessarily. So one thing about expansion draft, so we're going to see this again next year. Unfortunately, the way it works when you're an expansion team, you can't get a lottery pick. So it's difficult to get your franchise player in the first year anyway. Right, you got to wait till your second year for you to be bad. So they got to be terrible this year, so they could be one of the worst. Be a lottery team next year, and they could get one of those best, AZ Fudd, Tanaya Lotson. So they probably get their franchise player next year. But yeah, when you come in the expansion year, your first year, you can't get one of the lottery. That's why they so low. That's why they the fifth team drafting. Right, next year they could be 1, 2, or 3, but this year they couldn't do it. Same thing is going to happen next year with Toronto. That's coming in. Toronto and Portland, they can't get lottery picks. They're going to get the picks just after the lottery, so they got to wait till their second year as well before they could get probably their friend. Well, at that point, it's going to be a deep draft, so they may actually get a franchise player even outside of the lottery. We'll see, but that's unfortunately that's what the Valkyries got to go through. They got to go through getting the 5th pick this year and then getting a lottery pick next year. Yeah, Mo3. Oh, Mikachu, if you have more to say, I'm sorry.
I'm just thinking with all this hype around, the Valkyrie, I don't think them being last would be a good move. They gotta at least make 13 teams. They gotta at least make 10. They can't be dead last.
That's fine. If they listen. As long as they as long as they get a lottery pick, right? If they don't have to be dead last to get a lottery pick. So I definitely feel what you're saying on that. But as long as they what I'm saying is they don't want to be a playoff team. Like they don't want to, They don't want to lose the opportunity to get a high draft pick next year. Like they want to get a high draft pick to make that's going to really make their franchise go. But yeah, I do. That's a good point. You don't want to be terrible where people feel like there's no structure. Like y'all not building, y'all not going nowhere. So I definitely understand what you're saying about that. Mo 3, or unless I don't know if you finished, Mikachu, you can keep going. If not, Mo 3, what you got on this?
Yeah, well, I'm on the opposite side of the fence on this one. I don't think they're going to do anything. I think they're going to be last. I think they're going to suck. And it won't be because they're trying to tank. They're just going to suck because they suck.
Well, listen, it's a team that's going to compete with them, and we're going to get to them soon. So they might be last or they might not be. We'll see.
Well, that's what they're going to be fighting for. They're going to be fighting for last or second to last.
Right.
So they're going to suck.
All right, so our next team, I didn't queue it up this time, so bear with me. I got to queue it up real quick. Valkyrie. Okay, it's the next team. The next team that's going to actually be fighting with them to be last is the Connecticut Sun. And because the Connecticut Sun are so fucking terrible, I put the same exact notes. I think they need a franchise player. I think they need a leader, and I think they need experience, right? Like I think it's the same thing because they don't have anybody on their roster. Like if you take a look at the Mystics is in a bad position, but they still have good pieces. Brittany Sykes is a good piece, right? Shakira Austin is a piece where she should be a good piece. She grown. We're gonna see what she turned into. Aaliyah Edwards is a young piece. I don't feel like Connecticut has anything, right? When you take a look at this roster, you have a bunch of players, like for instance, Diamond Shields. Diamond Shields is still trying to prove she can still play after her injury, right? Her knee, the latest one was her knee injury 2 years ago, whatever the case may be. She's still trying to prove she could get back to form. You got Tina Charles there, who's probably going to be their best player, but she's retiring soon, right? We don't know how much longer she's gonna play. You got Marina Mabry there. Marina Mabry is an inconsistent player where one day she comes out and she lights out, next day she's struggling, right? So it's like the roster don't really have anything on it. Like they have to find something to start with, right? So that's why I put the same notes. They need a franchise player. They need a leader, which is the most important thing when you build a franchise. The Valkyrie, even a team like the Mystics and Connecticut, if you build a team and you don't have much there, when you starting from scratch, a leader is the first thing and the best thing you can get. Case in point, I don't know how much y'all familiar with the NBA, but Udonis Haslem. Udonis Haslem is somebody who isn't expensive, right? That the Heat was able to get as a rookie. Obviously, he spent his whole career in Miami. He's from Miami, but he's a leader. So he helps that franchise. When you bring in players, understand Heat culture. Another player who's not as popular, y'all might not remember this, only real basketball heads or Seattle fans is going to remember this name, Nick Collison. Nick Collison was, when Durant was a rookie, he came to Seattle. Nick Collison was the player that was on that team who was like the vet, the leader on that team. So you need leaders on a team, like somebody like a that may not be a name that pops out at you, but what's her name? Sydney Colson, right? It's what Sydney Colson is going to do for the Fever now. She's not a big name as far as what she's going to do on the court. Of course, she can still play, but she's a leader, and she helps young players and help other players understand culture. That's what Connecticut has to find. That's what the Valkyrie have to find. That's something you can find before you find your franchise player, right? You're one of your best players. If you can find that leader that can help you get on the right track. Let's start off with Mikachu on this one. What you got for this one, Mikachu?
I expect Connecticut Sun to be ass. The only person that I was shocked went to Connecticut is Tina Charles. I thought she would have retired in the ATL.
I was shocked as well.
Nah, they they should have just blew up the whole team that you just asked me. But the coach over there was like, oh no, we trying to at least be competitive. That's not happening this year, so they might as well. I think they gonna be dead last if you keeping it a whole stack. They need a lot. Tina Charles should be coming off the bench and helping somebody at the center position, but she gonna have to start. They need a true point guard. They need shooters. They need Jesus. I don't got nothing for them.
You want to know what's funny? I forgot to say this because I did this in different notes. I didn't put it in these notes. I did like a little mock draft in my phone. Y'all do know this coach is an overseas coach. This coach is I believe he coached the Belgium team, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
So this is a team that I could actually see taking one of those foreign players. That foreign point guard that's in the draft, Juste, I don't know how to say her name. This might be where she goes, right? To start something, right? Even somebody like an Asia Sifka, maybe this is where she goes because this is like I said, this is an overseas coach. He might know those players. He might be like, we need this point guard. We need this, you know what I mean? But that's just to throw some, something out there. What you got for this? Let's let Geneva end on this one. What you got for this Mo 3?
Everything you said is absolutely correct about the Suns and the Valkyrie, and the difference is, they both don't have that, but the Suns have a better. They both have trash players, but the players are still better on Connecticut, and then. And they also have better draft picks. They got 7, 8, and 25. So they also they could build better. They could get better picks in the draft. And while it doesn't matter that much for the Valkyrie if they lose, it's better for them actually if they lose. But for the Sun, it's worse if they lose because you got to remember they don't own their picks. Chicago got their picks. So what if they? So if they lose, it's bad. It's better for them. It's worse for them. You know what I'm saying? It's not working out. It's gonna make that Mabry trade look horrible.
Right.
So it's better. It's in their
and to your point, I'm only saying this because you said Mabry because this just popped in my head. They might even still lose Mabry. We still don't know if that's a possibility before the beginning of the season, right? Like that's still up in the air whether she stays or not. So that's gonna look really bad.
She don't have no choice but to stay. She's under contract.
No. I know. I'm not saying her. I'm talking about they might still trade her, right? Like so after they already traded her, after that deal they did with us, right? They might still lose her. They might still have to trade her to a, you know what I mean? So with politics and stuff. So I'm saying to your point with that.
Nah, I think that's a strategic move too. Why they don't want to trade her. Right. They're forcing her to play good because if they don't trade her, then it's a contract year for her, and this is when the CBA deal kicks in and the salaries go up. So she's going to have to prove her worth. She's going to have to show other teams why they need to pick her. So she's going to have to play good. So I feel like it's a strategic move by the Suns to try to force her to play good to make them win more games so that they have to pay Chicago less. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because they blew up. They already accepted defeat. How you notice? They blew up the team. They got rid of. They trade off everybody, but they like, you got to stay here and you got to play well. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think they want to win as much game as possible, and they're gonna try as badly as they can to win. So that's why I feel like the Valkyries in a class of all of their own, because they're not out there worried about if they win or not. And you know that people that want it more usually tend to get it more.
Yeah. Good point. What you got on this, Geneva?
I would say 2 words to describe the upcoming season for the Connecticut Sun is dumpster fire. Like, everything has gone left with this team, and it's crazy because they were the top 5 in the 2024 season. First and foremost, we got this new French/Belgian coach, I believe. by the name of Rashid Mizian.
Right.
Okay, Stephanie White has abandoned us. Okay, the coach Caitlin Clark at Indiana Fever. It is what it is. You know, she got to do what's right for her and her career and her family. But we lost our core four. Like, everybody didn't jump ship. Veronica Burton now Golden State Valkyries. Alyssa Thomas, she was the literal leader of this team. Yep. She then went to the Phoenix Mercury. Dejanay Carrington, Ty Harris got thrown to Dallas Wings. Who else left? It was somebody else. Of course, DeWanna Bonner, she with the enemy now. She with the, Indiana Fever.
Yep.
And, it's just so much going on. It's like, not only does this team lack a leader, culture, they lack identity. Yeah. And we have players such as Marina Mabry, a.k.a. Marina Maybe, who have publicly denounced the team and don't want to be at that team. And it's like, when you look at who we have now, Natasha Cloud got traded there. But she has now, she done snaked her way out somehow, and now she's at the New York Liberty. Yep. Somebody else got traded there, but they kind of broke out of it too. So, as it stands, you have Olivia Nelson-Ododa and possibly Marina Mabry as, like, the figureheads or so-called the leaders of the team. And again, like, one of them don't even want to be there, and she's also inconsistent. So, I just see their stock plummeting.
Listen, man, good points. Y'all I agree with everything y'all said, man. I like the Marina Maybe though. I like that. All right, so the next team we're gonna get into is the Los Angeles Sparks. Los Angeles Sparks. My notes for that team. They basically just need a point guard. I know they got some point guards there, but they could upgrade at point guard, and they need backup center. Obviously, we know Cam Brink is out, so they need to get some depth at the center position. So that's the two needs I got for them. Names that pop off for me is maybe this would be a good spot for like maybe a Tahina Pau, or maybe this would be a good spot for who's a good center. Maybe I'm gonna say maybe Thompson, Michaela Timpson. I'm gonna say Michaela Timpson. Maybe Michaela Timpson. Maybe a Tahina Pau or a Georgia Amore, somebody like that. Let's start off this one with let's start this off with Mo3. Mo3, what you got for this one?
All right, I see them. Well, that's assuming Pau lasts this long. I think Connecticut might snatch her. But if they don't, I would go with the Pau at 9. And then I don't know what they do with the 27, with the 21, but the 27, I could see them picking somebody like, y'all don't attack me, but Sedona Prince.
Okay. I got Sedona Prince probably going someplace else, but I'm not mad at them if they take Sedona Prince. I don't know if you want, unless you take Sedona Prince and you like, yo, when Cam come back, you coming off the bench, because that's what's gonna have to happen, right?
Yeah. What? That's another thing too. When is she scheduled to come back?
I don't know, but with these types of, I don't know the timeline for it, but with these types of injuries, I believe it was her ACL too, right? That she hurt, or was it the Achilles for her? I forgot what it was for her. But with those type of injuries, I feel like it always take like really 2 years, so or a year and a half. I don't think if she come back, I don't think she's gonna be ready at the beginning of the season. But again, that's me not having no information. That's just me how I feel. So I don't know. Somebody could look that up. That would definitely change the pick. Whatever big they get,
they already got Derica.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's my point. Whatever big they get is hitting the bench because Derek is playing the 4 and Cam is playing the 5. That's it. So if they do draft the big, you start until Cam come back and you hitting the bench. Like it ain't, you get it, because Rakia is playing the 3.
Yeah, but wait, what about that Chinese girl? They still got her?
Nah, they sent her to Seattle.
Oh.
Yeah. They got what's her name right now? They got Azarae Stevens.
Brink tore her ACL.
ACL, yeah. So she'll come back probably in the middle of the season, but still, even when she come back, again, I feel like those are injuries that once you come back physically, the mental part start, and then you gotta like play yourself, get comfortable. So
I don't know. Azure is iffy, man. I don't know, man. I would still get a big because Azure is iffy, man. She don't even play like a big. She play like
she play like a small forward at 6.
Yeah, man. I don't know. You
gotta tell her go get that rebound.
Yeah, you the biggest girl out there, man. Why are you getting punked by a 5'5" person, man? Get out of here. But yeah, that's what I would do. I don't know.
What you got on this, Geneva?
I believe the LA Sparks again. They're like the little sisters of the NBA's.
LA Lakers.
The Lakers.
Yeah.
And it could be so much more to be done with this franchise. I understand they just traded away Zaya Cook to the Seattle Storm. We just traded away Lexi Brown. I'm not sure where she went. Did she go to the Seattle Storm too?
Yes.
She went somewhere. Okay, yeah. She was, both of them low key were, more so liabilities on the team. Lexi Brown had illnesses. Zaya Cook, it seemed like she was going through something. Yeah, she had, was it Crohn's or Graves?
Crohn's.
Okay, yeah. And, Cameron Brink, the ACL.
No, what's funny, not to cut you off, Geneva, I think both, what's her name? We just mentioned her name, Crohn's disease. Both her and Zaya Cook, I believe, is both on the Storm right now. Lexi Brown and Zaya Cook.
Okay, so,
I think they both went to the Storm, yeah.
Which is crazy.
Sorry to cut you off, but I just thought about that when you said that.
No, you're good. And then Kia Nurse. She got traded to the Chicago Sky for whatever reason. We acquired her. Again, the Sparks, they really need a complete revamp. They need a rebrand. They got rid of Kurt Miller. He was the coach. Now he's the general manager of the Dallas Wings. And it's like they don't capitalize off of them being one. Again, like the little sister to the big brother of the Lakers. And it's Los Angeles, California. The entertainment, arguably one of the best sports capitals of the world. They need to do better, with getting good pieces to bring more eyes to it. I believe Juju Watkins would love to play for them, but again, that's some years out. Tahina Powell going to the LA Sparks. I mean, I guess, she's from San Diego. It would be, a nice spot for her to get started in her professional career.
Yeah. To your point, Geneva, before you go, Mikachu, the actual best spot, now, again, we don't know if she's going to go to this spot because, they might take a Kiki or they might take a Nisa. But the best spot for Tina Powell to go to is Golden State because I believe her nationality is Polynesian, if I'm not mistaken. And that area, and that area has a huge community of so it's like that'd be if to Mo's 3-point earlier, if they just get names to put butts in seats and stuff like that. That's actually the best place for her to go because she would have a built-in community already in Golden State. But yeah, LA too. LA's she's another West Coast girl. I believe, right? Where's Tina Powell from, if I'm not mistaken? I think she's West
from
Coast.
La Jolla, California, in San Diego.
Okay, yeah, so that fits. Mikachu, what you got on the Sparks?
I don't really got much on the Sparks. I don't follow them. But I do like a Tahina Powell going over there, but I think they might just need another point guard.
Yeah.
And a solid power forward.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Has some depth that at big. I feel you. All right, so we're gonna get into our next one. This one, because we got really 3, but 2, both of you guys are Chicago Sky fans. We're gonna start off with Geneva on this one. We're gonna end with Mode 3. Geneva, what you got for the Chicago Sky? Before you go, I feel like that team needs for the Chicago Sky is a point guard. We need a backup point guard to play behind Sloot and possibly take over because again, Sloot is another older player. So we need somebody who could possibly take over for Sloot in the future. And I feel like a go-to wing, a scoring wing, somebody who could get a bucket. The 2 names that pop off to me is somebody like Harmony Turner and Sarah Ashley Barker. Yeah. So what you got for that, Geneva?
Well, you said Imani Turner from Harvard, or
Harmony Turner from Harvard. Yes.
Yeah, she's amazing. But I agree with you. You know, I believe Vandersloot just turned like 36. She is getting up there. Yeah. But unfortunately for us, it seems as though the women we could have acquired for this draft are either, you know, staying in college another year, or they may hit the draft, but they're just not up to par.
Right.
Such as, Olivia Miles, Sonia Citron, et cetera. But yeah, we definitely need another point guard, but we actually have a point guard. We had one named Kennedy Carter, but, you know,
exactly.
the politics was politicking and everything was left.
Yep.
And, you know, decisions were made, unfortunately. And it seems as though pretty much it's been confirmed she's not coming back. Yeah. But, like, you know, her on that court again, you know, with Angel, Michaela, Camila Cardoso, it would have been, you know, it probably would have had high hopes for the season, but we're going to have to find a replacement for Kennedy Carter.
Yeah, facts. What you got on this one, Mikachu?
Like to go to this, to go to the sky.
Say that one more time. You was breaking up a little bit when you first started.
Haley Van Lith.
Okay, yeah, I like that.
I would like her to go there, and
she got a good relationship with Angel. So
yeah, I don't know. I feel like Anissa Mara, but those are my only two people that I'm thinking could fit well with what they're trying to do over there in Chicago.
That would be interesting if Anissa Murrow for the Chicago, what would they do? Because Anissa Murrow is from Chicago, for the people who don't know. And obviously Anissa Murrow and Angel got a good relationship too. And Anissa Murrow is somebody who I think can develop a perimeter game. She can develop that small forward game. And if she do, she'll be dangerous. She'll be a problem. But right now we don't know. But that's a good point, Mikachu. All right, Mo 3, what you got on Chicago?
Yeah, you know I'm on the Haley Van Thick train.
Haley Van Thick.
Yeah.
Heard you. You missed my last show. My last show was about Haley Van Thick.
I didn't miss it. I was watching. I just played the background.
Gotcha.
Because remember before the show before that, I was saying that, and Nate was telling me I was crazy. He's like, man, she's. And then the next day, I'm like, see what this dude talking about? I know what I'm talking about. But anyways, that's besides the point. Yeah, right. Haley Van Lith. I could see, but I don't see them taking her with the 10. I see them going for like trying to I don't know. She got invited to the to draft night, so I don't know. They might get her. They might get her. She's Angel might be pushing for a heavy. You never know. So they might get her with 10. Yeah, they might get, because they do need a point guard first.
Yeah,
they need the point guard more than they need the big and the stretch the 3-4. They need a point guard more than they need the 3-4. So I think they'll get Haley Van Lith at 10, and they have 3 picks, but they only have 2 spots.
Yeah.
What are they gonna do with that? Are they going to try to make like a trade or something?
I was about to say it's going to be one of two things. Either they're going to trade it away, or they're going to draft that player and bring them into camp, and they just going to have to fight for a spot.
Man, that's diabolical right there.
Yeah, because you can have up to, until I believe it's 17. I believe you can have up to 17 roster spots before, in training camp before.
Yeah, that's training camp. But after training camp is done, is only 12.
Yeah, then that's what I'm saying. Then you cut it down, and some people ain't gonna make the team. We basically gonna have like 5 people trying to make 2 spots.
Yeah, that's how you know they ain't making money, because in the NBA, the roster spot, you get two extra roster spots that's on reserve, like people that signed to the team, but they never play. They don't even show up. They don't even show up to practice or nothing. They just there, just in case. You know what I'm saying? But they don't got no just in case players, just in case spots. But yeah, that's so I like the Barker, but I wouldn't be mad if they go that way. But I'm on the Destiny Adams train. So
I wouldn't be mad at that either. I like Destiny.
I like because she could do both. She could play a little bit of 3, play some 4. She could be a stretch 4. You know what I'm saying? I like that. Haley Van Lith and Destiny Adams at 16.
All right. The next team picking after Chicago is the Minnesota Lynx. The Minnesota Lynx, my notes for them is they need a backup center or starting center, depending on what you feel about Alana Smith. Whether Nafisa plays the 4 and Alana Smith plays the 5, then they need a backup center. Or if Nafisa slides to 3, Alana Smith will slide to 4, then they need a starting center. Either way, they need a center to contend with Jonquel Jones, because I think that was their downfall, just being too small, right? So they just need to get bigger. So this is where I got to my point earlier, Mo 3. This is where I got Sedona Prince going, because she's the only big. Her and Malanga's the only 2 real big centers in this draft. After the East 2, you have Michaela Timpson, who's 6'2". You have Ryan Marshall, and Sanaya Fegan, who are both about 6'4", 6'3". So I would go with Sedona Prince here, personally. But I got backup center and I got backup point guard for the Minnesota Lynx. We can start with Mikachu on this one. Mikachu, what you got for Minnesota?
I think they need a backup shooting. I don't think they need a backup point guard.
Okay.
Because they got a solid one in Courtney. I think her last name is Williams.
They're not calling Williams. Start. You probably thinking about what's her name? The light skin one, Heidelman, Natasha.
No. I'm saying they got a point guard, a true point guard.
Oh yeah.
Courtney Williams.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then they got the backup in
Natasha Heidelman.
Yeah. So I think they just need another shooter, because McBride, she is a two-way player. So I've been loving her when she was on Vegas. Yeah. Before they traded her out, because she was like a little bit inconsistent, but she finally found her home in Minnesota. And I don't know, for some reason New York media pissed her off or something, and she started to go ham. But I just think they need a backup shooter, to be honest. And also, definitely, you could never go wrong with a backup center. So I think Sedona Prince, she definitely gonna ride the bench with this coach, but she gonna learn a lot. So yeah, that's what I think Minnesota needs.
Geneva, what you got on this one? Mo 3, actually, you ended the last one, right? Yeah, Mo 3. You let Geneva end this one. What you got on this one?
If they're taking Sedona, the pick I had with Sedona before was a late pick. You know what I'm saying? But if they pick her with the 11th, I could see her going there. And you're right, she would be a better fit. But the thing is, her tournament games was a bad showing. Like, because you got to look at who's doing the picking on Minnesota. Cheryl Reeves, and you know she's all about the fundamentals. She's like the female Popovich. So she's looking at Sedona like, hold on, what's going on here, man? She's, you know what I'm saying? She's looking at trying to get over the hump, not a passion project, because she's mad about last year. She want to win this year, so she's looking at how can I get over the hump this year, and so she's gonna. It's an iffy on that. She might say they might invite her to do a workout and see what's what, and then she might change her mind. But I don't know. I think she might be looking elsewhere. You know what I'm saying? But I would, if I was her, I would still pick her though, because she's a bigger body. Like even if she's not even if she's playing like she was playing in the last game, it's a big body with 5 extra fouls. Like, because that was the thing. Like Jacquel, she plays rough. You know what I'm saying? Like, look what she was tossing Alana around like a rag doll. Like, You know what I'm saying? I don't think like Alana at the 5 is a good. Like she too flimsy. She too flimsy for that.
But to your point, Mo, because I didn't think about this until you said. Well, I thought about this player, but I didn't think about. I actually did think about this, but to your point, Mo, what they could do, because we all know Cheryl don't like playing rookies, right? And somebody made the point, it might have been you on a different show, Mo, that Cheryl don't like people with the history and the background of Sedona Prince. What they could do is actually make a trade. Like this is, it could be any team or any player, but they could make a trade. Let's say they trade this pick to Connecticut and get like what's her name? Nelson Ododa, if I'm saying her name correctly.
Ododo.
And that's a more veteran big. That's somebody who Cheryl is more comfortable with, and now then Sedona could go play in Connecticut, right? She in Connecticut. They need as much help as they could get anyway, and now Cheryl don't have to worry about playing a rookie or playing somebody with the history, off the court that Sedona Prince has. So that's another option that they can do. They could make a trade for a veteran. I'm just throwing a name out there just for example wise, but it could be any veteran and big that they feel like could help. Like another option is, I don't feel like Kalani Brown fits the offense that Phoenix is trying to run. So I don't even know why she's there, to be honest with you. So they might move her eventually, or maybe she does fit it and I just don't see the vision. But that's just an option that Cheryl could do to like get a more veteran big, because we all agree that they need a big. They lost because they was too small. Everybody knows that. So she could try to trade for a more veteran big opposed to getting one out the draft as well.
Well, I kind of disagree with that. That's not why they lost. It just made it easier for them to cheat them.
Okay. I respect that. Did everybody go on? No, Geneva goes, right?
Yeah.
Geneva. Gotta end us off on this one.
Started off by saying that, we all know that deep down inside, the Minnesota Lynx, they deserve to win that championship last season. The rest low-key cheated for the New York Liberty. It is what it is.
Listen, we got a Liberty fan on the panel now, though.
Hands to the dog. New York Liberty all day, every day.
Nah. They
Brooklyn to the casket drop.
They were desperate. Y'all ain't won a championship since the 70s in basketball.
Fuck out of here.
No. The Minnesota Lynx, I believe that they do have enough bigs. I don't remember her first name, but Hines Allen. I believe she got traded. Maisha Hines Allen. I believe she just got traded back to the Dallas Wings. She's about 6'3", pretty strong. They still got, I'm sorry if I butchered the names. Dorka Huhas. She's 6'4", like Slovenian, ice queen goddess. She's 6'4". What's the other like big? That Italian woman, Zena Lazinskis. Hold on, Zelensky.
I'll pull up.
I can't say her name. That was so bad.
I just call her Anna.
Yeah. Or
always there, right?
She's like 6'1". But Courtney Williams, she's 5'8". She's small. She can, she's really good on the dribble. I love her. Mid-range shot. It's so beautiful how she creates it straight out of her chest. She's small, but she got it. Of course, Nafisa Collier, she's 6'1". She's a huge leader in the face and the face of the team. She leads that culture and gives them their identity. I believe again, like Minnesota Lynx, they were already a threat last season, but coming off of this huge loss, it was a terrible loss. They know deep down inside they deserve that win, that championship title. They're going to be more brutal, and I agree with Hot Boy Corleone in the chat. Haley Van Lith, when you think about it, I believe she fits right into the culture and the pace and the overall identity of the Minnesota Lynx. I think Haley Van Lith would be perfect for the Lynx.
That's not a bad spot for her. I wouldn't be mad at that. So that's their roster. Dorka Yuhas.
Dorka is too slow.
She's like the cleanup woman, though. She can be when it comes to them, offensive rebounds.
This is the new big. Not to cut you off. I'm sorry. This is a new big they got from France. Marimi I don't know how to say her name. I ain't even gonna try to slaughter it. But this
Bridget.
is the new big that they got from they just picked up. They just signed in this off season. But I don't think that's enough. I think they need to get somebody else. All right, y'all. We're gonna move on to our last topic. It's not really a topic, it's a video. You guys killed that segment. Let me see what they saying in the chat real quick. Hot Boy Coleon says this is where Haley can go to Minnesota Lynx because they play 5-out spread, pick and roll offense. Her and Sedona. Not mad at that. Bob Jones says Reese is the quadruple threat now. Great 3-point shot, mid-range shot, rebound and dominant play and scoring in the paint. 30 and 20 average this season. MVP. Defensive player of the year. Heard you.
Wow.
The Sky should go 34 and 10 this season. All right, we're gonna see. Bob Jones is high on the Sky. Listen, if you enjoyed this panel just gave y'all great analysis on on what these guys need to look at during the draft. Make sure you guys hit the like button. Make sure you guys support Geneva in General's channel. If you ain't, everybody here probably subscribed to her already. But if you not, go subscribe to Geneva in General, man. She's super dope, man. You already know if you seen her videos, she got unique takes on how she I'm not gonna lie, Geneva. Because I love you, I didn't make a video about you. You triggered me the other day, Geneva. I was watching your video about Angel Reese and the guest she had on. I was like, yo, what's up with I said, what's wrong with my man, the baby? Like, you know what I mean? But I felt you made some good points in your video. But Geneva definitely got some dope takes on her videos and stuff. So if you're not subscribed to her, go check her videos out and subscribe to her. The last part of this is pretty much the second part of the Angel Reese interview. So we're gonna watch that. And then we're just gonna give our feedback on it, and then that's gonna be the show. So let me get him mute this up. It's pretty good. It's a pretty good interview. If you missed the first part, you can either watch the beginning of the show or you can pull it up. It's a pretty good interview.
You go to Chicago. What was rookie year life in the Chi?
Well, I knew I wanted to go to Chicago. Like from the jump, I'm like, that's a big city. Like, who doesn't want to live in a big city? In Louisiana, like, it was fun, but Chicago is just a time. The food, the vibes, Chi-Town, like, people go there, it's a time. So then I went from Chicago to Miami, like, a time. But it was great, living downtown, living off the water, just being able to just be around a community that really loved us. Like, me and Camilla came in there, and they really, really, really loved us. Like, being able to be the skyscrapers.
And it's so cool because it's like you go from rivals to teammates.
Yes,
so
crazy.
Quick.
It's crazy. Like, being able to collab together and come together and just be teammates right away. Because you never know who's going to be your teammate. Like, I never knew Camilla was going to ever be my teammate. So just being able to see, like, us being able to come together and play together. And I'm super excited for year 2.
Yeah, everyone's looking out for you guys and your growth. It's going to be so much fun. What do you think that, looking back on last year, your rookie year, is there a moment that you look back and I'm like, oh my gosh, I love this?
Ooh, I don't know. I just enjoyed, like, being All-Star Weekend. Let me say All-Star Weekend. All-Star Weekend was fun. It was a time. And I like to be around other players and see, like, who they really are outside of it. And, like, just being able to talk to other players, obviously, like Kelsey Mitchell. I was talk to Aaliyah Boston. I knew De'Erica before, talking to Dewana. Like, just being able to see them, like, right in my face and, like, not have to go against them for, like, just one game was actually fun. And, like, just learning from them was really fun.
And honestly, after that All-Star game, everyone was like, NBA, take notes. Take notes, NBA. The women are where it's at. Yes. And it's also, you mentioned De'Erica. De'Erica's my former teammate. You guys, like, they fighting over you. My sister, De'Erica, they trying to, mama, that's my daughter.
I know. Everybody's fighting custody.
It's so funny, but you got love everywhere you go.
I love them.
You got love. It's been really fun to see your career off the court as well. One of the most iconic moments, what was the caption? You got to remember it with your Vogue cover. It was like, oh, you told me to get covered up? Well, I went straight up cover girl. How was that shoot, that moment, building yourself in the lane of fashion? I'm a huge fan of La Roche.
Yes.
I've loved how you pivoted into that space.
Yeah, I mean, I love modeling. I think growing up, it was a struggle for me being a tall girl. It's not easy to buy shoes. It's not easy to find long enough.
Relatable.
Still to this day. So just being able to kind of, like, step into that and just being able to be super confident within myself, like standing up, putting my shoulders back. My grandma kind of instilled that in me, like since a young age. And like starting from LSU, I started actually, my first Vogue was when I did Team Vogue with them. And then when I declared for the draft, I did Vogue again, I announced my draft. So it was a build up. I mean, shout out to Anna Wintour. She's the best, she's amazing. And just being able to kind of have like creative control over it when I was able to do the shoot, it was amazing. And then invited me to the Met Gala for year 2 and being in the committee, like that's just lit.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it. Can't wait to see the fits. And one other lane that you pivoted into as well is broadcasting. Yeah. So I feel like it was one of the times, it was either WNBA All-Star or the draft where you're like, I'm going to be here. Yeah. Like I love the field.
I think it was All-Star, yeah
I think it was All-Star. And we're like, sis, wait, take some time. We like our jobs. We like our jobs. How has Unapologetically Angel been? Yeah. You've had stellar guests. You spilled some tea. It's been cool, but even like cooler than that is the fact that outside of the show, outside of the podcast, you're friends. Yeah. You're interacting, you're linking. How has that side of the industry been?
Yeah, I built like friendships like long term. Like me and Speedy, as you guys know.
We saw that at the McDonald's All-American game.
Yeah.
People were swirling around like, no. And you're like, no.
That's my bro. Like
that's your bro.
Just being able to build relationships with people outside of the sports, like I have all friends that don't play sports. And I think that's the balance, and that has been the best thing for me. Like being able to just step outside of that world and just being able to tap into something else. So Unapologetically Angel, it's been amazing. I just finished the last episode. So just being able to do that under season 1 and just being able to learn so much from it was fun. So I enjoyed it. But it's some popping guests we got in year 2 for the second season, for sure.
You gonna give us a hint?
Y'all coming on, the sisters, that's... Thank you.
Oh, we'll pull up. We'll pull up. Okay, look at me now. And what's really cool also when it comes to Unapologetically Angel was the moment that you had with your mom.
Yeah.
How did that go? Because you could tell, like, it took her a second to process. Yeah. 10 seconds later, oh my God.
Yeah, my mom is very emotional. She's quiet. I'm more outspoken. She's very quiet, like my brother. So I had planned, this is so funny, I was going to buy her a Birkin. I was going to retire her. And she was like, if you would have bought me a Birkin and not retired me, that would have been a problem. Like, what you doing? So yeah, I was like, I want to retire my mom in January. And I was like, no perfect time than her birthday. So when I literally called my financial advisor, like, I was like, let's retire my mom. And he was like, all right, well, let's get her tax information. I already got it. And literally like 2 hours before, he was like, all right, done. So that's when I announced it on my podcast. And she was like, crying because she was just so happy. I mean, I've done everything for my mom. It was just always us 3, me, my mom, and my brother. My grandparents were super helpful, but it was just us 3 in the house, and just being able to see she did so much for us. She sacrificed so much for us, and like just being able to do that for her, which is something I always imagine.
As you know, family is everything to me, and we can see it with you, and I think that's really special. Yeah. But when I think about this game and where it's taken us, what do you make of this moment right now? How do you feel like, obviously we're right here at the national championship, the Final Four, but like, what do you see the game going in the future?
Yeah, I don't know, because it's like new things happen every day, and just being able to see like where we were a couple years ago, and I've been watching the WNBA for a really long time. So just being able to see the growth and just being able to be a part of it, like the small things, the big things, and just being able to see everybody be happy and learn and respect women's basketball. We walking down the street, like they know who we are, like we get more reps sometimes than the men. I don't know, but yeah.
Thanks.
They know us before the NBA players sometimes too, but just being able to see that, like we should be recognized. We put the work in, we do a lot of great things. So I'm just really happy where the game is growing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we are kind of living the dream. Yes. Growing up when we started playing basketball, we never thought like it would be this moment and it would be now. And for you to be right in the middle of it, in the peak of it, in the prime of it, I think it's special. And we couldn't have a better ambassador, honestly. She's a girl's girl. And what I love, you talk about Birkins, but you also about your brands, right? We're here with Shea Moisture, but you've had a lot of great collaborations and partnerships. How has it been building a business that is Angel Reese?
I think this was easy. Like a partnership like Shea Moisture was super easy because I'm into self-care. I think self-care is like my therapy. Being able to get my hair done. I change my hair up all the time.
Okay. We're gonna have to talk about this. We're gonna talk about this. Every time I see you, the bob was fire.
But I'm natural.
Okay.
The bob would have been an afro. Like, we're not even finna go there.
That bob wasn't bobbing?
The bob would have been, as soon as workouts hit, bob was done. It was done.
Yeah, so what is your self-care routine?
Yeah, I think off days are my favorite days. Nails, hair, I try to squeeze it all in and do it all together. Like the everything shower, the girl as a girl, like being able to use smell goods. I think the best compliment somebody can give you is you smell good. Like you smell good, and I think that's just something that's important to me. And I feel like look good, feel good. I think that's always how I've been.
What word, if someone is maybe doubting themselves, if someone feels down, you have handled all of the adversity and the criticism so gracefully. What word would you say to that person that might be struggling, that needs a pick-me-up?
One word. I don't know if it's one word.
Or a
I got a couple.
You gotta laugh.
I would say be you. Look yourself in the mirror and know who you are. There's a lot of times I can sit on social media and believe and look myself in the mirror like, oh, you are that. Like people say so many negative things and I can obviously like fixate myself to thinking like I am these things. When I look myself in the mirror every day, I look myself and say, you are her. Like tell yourself you're her. Like no matter what anybody has to say, the negativity, the unwanted comments, people that don't know you, you're her. And you're her, you're her, you're her, you're her, you're him, whoever you are. And like, just be confident within yourself. Like, don't care what anybody else has to say. Nobody lives in your shoes. Nobody can walk. Because a lot of people would kill to live this life. Period. And that's why I don't really pay attention to the outside. Because it's like, you would want to live this life. And I would honestly say, just be you. Be you, continue going. If it's hard, every day the sun don't shine, but that's why I love tomorrows. That's why Glorilla, baby. Every day is not great, and I don't smile every day. Like, every day is not good for me. I cry, I go home and just want to be alone and be by myself, and every day is not a great day, but when I wake up in the morning and just look at myself in the mirror and just be like, yeah, you hurt. Like, it's okay. Like, you hurt.
And my word is oftentimes operating in spaces that are not necessarily built for us. We feel like they see you before they hear you.
Yeah.
They judge you before they know you, but they can't stop you.
Yeah.
And y'all,
Period.
didn't we end with a bang? Because she is her. She is mother effing her. Angel Reese, you all.
Guys.
Yeah, so that's the second part of the video that we saw earlier. First of all, if you guys are not familiar with Shea Moisture, but if I'm not mistaken, that's a black-owned business, number one. Number two, they got amazing products. That's what I use for my hair. I use they shampoo, and I use they leave-in conditioner, and I use they conditioner. I love Shea Moisture. So if you guys are not familiar with Shea Moisture and you males, men and women, go my mother put me on the Shea Moisture, so definitely check out that product. That product is definitely dope, and it really works magic. Okay, we got some Angel Reese haters in the chat. Baby giraffe. Okay, can we turn the music off now? You don't like the music? The music bothering you, Lisa? I like the music. I feel like it provides a nice vibe, but I turn it off if it's bothering you. I know Ghost says, I know cocoa butter. Y'all youngers not using that no more.
What do you
so
mean?
yeah,
Shea Moisture is old though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a dope product. Some people may use it, some people may not, some people may know about it, some people may don't.
You know, fun fact, Shea Moisture is it got its boom. You're right, it is a black owned business, but it got its boom from Target.
Okay.
Like it was the first you know that DUI program that people complaining about now that they're shutting down? Yeah. It was actually the first one in that program way back in the 90s, in like 1990 or 1991 or some in the early 90s. Yeah, it's the one that started that boom, like the that deal that Target got for like minority businesses, minority owned business. Yeah, and that's how they got their boom.
That's fire. That's dope. I didn't know that. Thanks for the information. But also we're gonna talk about our takeaways from this video. So I'm gonna just say mine and I'm gonna let y'all go. Angel Reese is needed. Angel Reese is so dope for the WNBA in the off season. Every time she does something in the media, it's interesting, right? And I say that to say because I don't want to compare, so I'm not going to say names, but a lot of players if they're not playing basketball, there's no point in watching them. They're not interesting. Angel Reese has this enthusiasm about her that makes you interested in her even when she's not playing basketball, and that enthusiasm helps grow the WNBA, right? It helps people talking about the WNBA, even if they want to say negative things. It's like, if you a magnet, you a magnet. You get what I'm saying? And certain people decide to gravitate towards Angel and be negative and say negative things. Other people like us decide to gravitate around her and say positive things. But at the end of the day, she got gravity. You get what I'm saying? So that's what I took away from this interview. Just looking at her personality, she's just so bubbly. So, you know what I mean? That's why all the girls love her. And that's another narrative I don't understand, because the people who hate her say things like, oh, look at her, she's selfish. Oh, she care about herself. She this, she that, she this. And it's like, you don't watch her. You just want to spread a lie. You want to spread a narrative, kind of like the guy that just came in here and thought that he was gonna upset some people, I guess, saying something negative about her. They just want to spread narratives about her instead of telling the truth, right? And this is the truth. You watch her, what people say. She just said, oh, my sister and the other basketball players, they was fighting over you. They always trying to say that they was you their daughter, this, that, and the third, because they love her personality. Right? That's just the facts. That's not how I feel. I'm not sitting up here telling y'all my emotions. I'm telling y'all what actually happens. These basketball players off the court love Angel. Right? People, when they meet her in real life, love Angel. So that's what I took away from this interview. Dope product that's that they highlighting right there in Shea Moisture, and dope interview from Angel. What do you guys take away from this interview?
And it just expresses, this new wave of basketball players embracing femininity. A lot of people say, they're too masculine presenting, they're too butch, like, and then when they present themselves in that feminine, that traditionally feminine manner, that it's still kind of ridiculed. I like that, Angel Reese, she embraces that aspect of herself, and like, she wants to be beautiful on and off the court. Again, I don't see anything wrong with it. Again, I like Shea Moisture too. I'm not sure if it's still black owned. I believe it used to be owned by a black man, but I'm not sure if he sold it.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to do my research, but I still have, right now in my cabinet, I have the leave-in conditioner. I like Shea Moisture.
Yeah, that leave-in conditioner is something else. I love that.
I do too. But Angel Reese, again, in this interview, she talks about wrapping up this season of her podcast, which I didn't know that was like the last interview. I thought it was gonna be year-round, but it makes sense for her to be locked in for the upcoming season. Yeah. But I look forward to more interviews. Again, I'm really holding out hope that she'll interview track star legend Sha'Carri Richardson sometime soon.
Facts. They friends, so I can see that happening.
Yeah, it definitely needs to happen.
Yeah. Mikachu, what you got on this?
She just reiterated why I like her. I didn't know her from a hole in the wall. So on that slam, it was a summer league where they had a bunch of stars come out in a high school game, and she was talking smack. I'm like, who is this shit? So I've been rocking with you ever since then. So she just reiterated why I rocked with her.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, hate is just misplaced love. So if you hating, you still got my name in your mouth.
Facts.
So anyway,
facts.
People hated on Muhammad Ali, and then they started loving him because he couldn't talk no more. You know what I mean? So it's just misplaced love. They'll come around. It's all right.
Yeah. Definitely good point. Mo3, what you got on this? I cut the music off for you, Lisa. That was for you, Lisa. There you go. What you got on this, Mo3?
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Like, I'm taking one step further. I think like they should just come out and be like, yeah, she's the face, like she's the because she's the one that's, if anyone's gonna do it, she's the one that's gonna actually grow the league.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like when I say grow the league, I mean make people that's not a fan of that sport become a fan of that sport.
Facts.
I don't want, they don't need players that's already like they say, oh, some other person is growing the league because they got a fan from the men's side coming over to the women's side. That's not really growing the game because there was already basketball fans.
Right.
They might have clicked over anyways. You know what I'm saying? So we need the people that was never going to click over to click over, and
Facts.
she moves that needle because of her stardom or fandom outside of basketball, like she said. You know what I'm saying? Like she got a whole bunch of fans. I guarantee the majority of her fans don't even like or watch basketball like that.
That's
You know
a
what I'm saying?
fact.
And if they do, they only do it because of her.
Because of her. That's a fact. If to
You
your
know
point, Mo3, I'm not cutting you off. I want you to keep going, but I'm adding to it. A lot of her fans are girls that like are in the makeup. Like they do, like they, the glam, the tutorials online. A lot of them is her fans. And you even see some of them, to your point, coming to games because they'll do a day or whatever, and they'll be like, "I'm going to see Angel," and then they'll be like, "I had a great day at the game, whatever," and they do the whole day or whatever. So, absolutely,
Yeah, man, and Rivaled is like prove that point. Like she was the only player that they've had the entire stadium rooting for her, screaming her name, getting pissed off at the ref. I know that ref had to sneak out the building that day because they was mad. They was mad. Like, you found her out. What? You know what I'm saying?
facts.
So yeah, so I feel like yeah, she should be they should just be like, yeah, man. I'm not saying like just push her and forget about everybody else. They should push everybody else too, but I just feel like they should give her like that extra oomph. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just a little extra publicity and a little extra push. Like just kind of like what they did with Jordan. Like Jordan, like they didn't just push Jordan, they pushed everybody else too, but they gave him that little extra oomph, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Listen, man. Great points by everybody. Like I said, this is this was a great episode. We touched on, we watched the full Angel Reese interview. Part 1 was in the beginning of the episode, and we got into the draft. I feel like we had a unique show about the draft. A lot of these shows is doing mock drafts. I said, let's talk about the team needs, and this panel really killed it. So I want to say shout out to my panel. I want to say, if you didn't hit the like button yet, please hit the like button. If you ain't subscribed to the channel yet, please subscribe to the channel. We had Geneva in general. She did an amazing job. A lot of y'all fans of her, a lot of y'all know her, but if you don't know Geneva in general, she's dope. Go to her channel and subscribe. We have Mikachu on the channel. Welcome back, Mikachu. Mikachu, if y'all don't know, just got over a sickness, so she's still getting over it. So welcome back to Mikachu. She was definitely missed in these podcast streets. People love her energy, so definitely appreciated Mikachu's energy. And Mo3 always coming through with the facts, man. Always appreciate having Mo3 on the panel. That's my brother. And this, like he said, me and him, we typically, he even saying, if he's saying something, I done thought it, and he's saying it, type of shit. So I'm always appreciate his analysis when it comes to women's basketball, and everybody who come through in the chat and show us love, man. I appreciate the community that we building here. So with that said, everybody have a great weekend. Stay blessed and stay safe, man. Any last words, Mikachu and Mo3, before we get out of here?
Stay safe.
Mikachu.
Let's go Liberty.
Let's go Liberty. I ain't mad at that. And like I said, happy that you feeling better, Mikachu.
Thanks.
Absolutely. Listen, man, everybody have a good night. We'll be back. What is today? Today, Friday. My next perspective show will be back on Monday. But I'll see you guys on Sunday with Mikachu and Nate for the weekly, for the WNBA weekly report. So,
hey, but you know the draft is on Monday, right?
Yeah, it's on Monday.
All right.
Yeah, so I might go live. It depends on what time it is, because I get home at a certain time. I might go live after the drive, or I might go live during the drive. We'll see.
All right.
And then Mo3, we got to talk too, because if you, like I said, if you want to join the show of Mikachu and Nate, you can. So if that's something you're interested in, or you just want to just be a special guest like you are now, you can do that too. It's up to you.
Yeah, I might just do that for now because I don't want to commit to something and then something come up and then you know what I'm saying, I can't
I ain't
show
mad
up.
at you. Listen, you always welcome on the panel regardless, nigga. You're a part of all these shows anyway, right? So it's whatever works for you. Facts, Coleon. Right. Can't wait for the WC's Geneva. Listen, we out. Everybody have a good night and stay blessed.